Hey everyone, welcome back to Accounting Conversations. So excited for our episode this week. This week, I am here with Noah Brabble, um, and he is a student at UNC Greensboro. Noah, so glad to have you on. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Chayton. Thanks for the invite. This is really exciting.
So today we're going to talk about student success as accounting students, and Noah is kind of an expert in his own on helping students with LinkedIn and leadership skills, and he has immense experience in accounting already as an accounting student. So super excited to learn from him, and hopefully you guys are able to take a few things away today that are really beneficial. Noah, you want to give us a little introduction here to start off?
Sure, I'll give a little bit of a elevator pitch before. So my name is Noah Brabble. I'm an accounting student at UNC Greensboro, so that is in North Carolina. I am a senior there, and in addition to just being an accounting student, I have also had various professional roles in managerial accounting and in public accounting, which I just started. I'm also very involved on campus. So I've had student leadership positions in student organizations or clubs of various types. I have been an employee of the Bryan School of Business, working with data there and programs there. I've been a student teacher. What are some other things that I've done? You know, um, I can't think of anything else really. I'm part of the National Millennial and Gen Z community, which is an organization which we might talk about later, that helps foster communication between younger professionals and executives in the business world already. And some of my biggest emphasis are on professional development, learning how to develop professionally, helping students and others like me to apply to different roles, utilizing LinkedIn as a professional resource, developing holistic relationships with people. So, learning how to network effectively. And then also, a passion of mine is accounting and using accounting for really good judgments and data story, using it to tell stories with data. So, I know that was a whole lot, but I think we're going to get into that a little bit later. But that's just a little bit about myself and what my passions are.
Yeah, I love all that. I've been following you for a while on LinkedIn now, Noah, and the the experience and the insight you're able to bring to students really is amazing, and it shows in your content, and it shows just like in your introduction here. So I really appreciate that. Um, Wanted to start off here. So why did you choose accounting? There's the stigma, there's this, you know, stereotypical tax accountant who's gone the first part of the year and is
Yeah,
boring and only talks about taxes. So why did you choose accounting?
right. Yeah, and that I think that was the stereotype I had always had in mind as well. Because like, who knows what an accountant actually is? Like, what do they do than just like punch the numbers into a calculator and make you pay money to the government and stuff like that? And, what really drove me is my dad is an accountant. He's a partner for a firm, and he really pushed me to study accounting because he knew what my strengths were. At first I was going to major in economics, and then I was really excited about that. And then he saw in me someone who was really rule focused, who likes business, and who is able to make good relationships with people. And those are all things that accountants need. And so I decided then to go after that because I thought, well, this was very motivating to me. I want to do all those things. I want to really do what I'm good at. And I really like accounting and I find it very interesting to study. I'm also a really avid learner. I like to read textbooks, as funny as that sounds. I like to do exercise problems. I like to do all those things because I like to learn. And in accounting, there's so much to learn and to go after. Um, and there's so many rules to follow. And when you are networking with people, there's so many different types of people to network with. And it's all those different things that I really just enjoy being able to do. So then that is why I chose accounting as my study, and that is what I want to do as a career.
I love that. That's some of the same reasons I chose accounting. And it's funny you mentioned, accountants love business. They love understanding how a business works. That's really what accounting is about. And yes, you can be an accountant and still love people and still interact with clients and help them. And I think that's something the younger generation wants to do. And if more of
Right.
us, knew that going in, maybe we'd have more accounting students, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's
Yeah, because
yeah.
accounting is so
Oh, go ahead.
important for. Oh, sorry. Accounting is so important for businesses to succeed just because of the regulations. And if we have people that know that, then businesses can make better judgments. That's what accounting really is about: is judgment making, not just putting numbers into a spreadsheet and then making it look pretty and then sending it off, and who knows what happens to the that after that. No, it's about judgment making. It's about the decision making process, and people from all types of levels, executive levels, people who are investing in stocks. These are all things that they rely on from accountants is to make decisions using the numbers that we produce in a financial statement or something like that. So accounting is so important for that reason as well.
Yeah, I love that. And even smaller business accountants are able to help see. But even bookkeepers are able to help their clients see what business decisions they need to make that they wouldn't have been able to see or choose by themselves. So really
Yeah.
amazing the value that accountants bring to the business world. Um, Going back to your experience in accounting, so
Hmm.
you've done 2 internships in accounting already, right? As a
Yeah. So
student?
I've correct. So I've completed one. I'm in the midst of one right now. So yes, that's correct.
And why did you choose to do that? Like I saw the firm you were at last time, you were there for over a
Uh-huh.
year.
Yeah.
You're an accounting student. Accounting is not easy to study. It's really hard, but you made the time to go and get accounting experience outside of the classroom. Why did you do that?
That's a great question. It wasn't, I didn't really intend it um, to begin with. It just sort of happened down the road as I made decisions. But so what had happened was this was 2022 when I first started at this manufacturing firm. It's called Parker Hannifin. It's actually a really big company. You may have never heard of it before, but they make a lot of different motion control products. And at this facility, we made airplane products. And I saw this job posting on LinkedIn for an accounting intern. This might be a theme as we continue to speak today on LinkedIn. I found it. And I applied for it. And after I applied for it, I was like, well, um, I had just got, I was actually still in my first accounting class, okay, financial accounting, really super basic accounting. And I was thinking to myself after I applied, maybe like I'm not really prepared. Maybe this isn't really for me. And so I kind of pushed it off to the side. And my dad was like, well, I was like to my dad, I was like, yeah, I don't really think I want to do an internship, maybe. And he was like, no, you should do it. You should go and you should go talk to these people because you are going to gain so much from this experience by actually being in a business. And so I did it. And at this place, it was about, it was 3 months, but I extended it time and time again because I kept wanting to push myself to do more, push myself to learn more, push myself to make better connections. And so this isn't traditional tax accounting, auditing that people get funneled from accounting degrees into those roles. This was managerial accounting. This was accounting for a business. This was making journal entries ourselves. This was making decisions about products. This was all about analyzing this specific business performance and then making the books happen after that. But that being said, is that I got a wealth of experience doing that by being there so long. Um, you know, Being in a place like that, you really get to, again, know the people. You get to build relationships that will live with you for a long time. You get to really know the system. And this is something that you'll hear over and over again. If you're doing an internship, you are learning how to use the technological software that is so important for that job. Um, younger or businesses rely on younger generational students and employees to be able to use digital software. That is a skill that we're sometimes called digital natives because we are experienced with technology at a young age and we're able to use it, and that transfers into the business world as well. And it's expected of us to be able to utilize this technological resources and to develop or to enhance those things going forward. And so being able to be in a business where you are learning those things is so important. And so the networking and the technological skills is really important. Um, and then also the supplemental education. Okay. And this is a really basic thing is like, I learned something when I'm at work that I have also learned at school. Okay. So, if you're in cost accounting, and you're talking about a standard cost and you're working at this company that, you're an accountant for, and then you see all these standard costs, it's like, hey, I learned that in school. I am using it now at work. I can see that. Okay. And so it's a really cool thing is being able to elevate your education by being at a job while you're in school or during the summer while you're on break. It really helps you prepare for that career that you're wanting to go for. And it helps you in the classroom and at work as well so that you can be a better employee and a better student. So those are really things that, if you are looking to get an internship in accounting, those are all benefits that you get to learn. Okay. The technological skills, the networking skills, the skills that, that you learn in the classroom that you'll use. Because in accounting, the goal of the students is to, learn things that you're going to use in the real world because, there are these things called like gap. You're supposed to learn gap in school, and then the businesses are supposed to apply gap, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way or whatever. But you can always that what you learn in accounting class is what's going to happen in the real world. So those are all benefits of like having an internship. Now going back to your question, I interned this place for like a super long time. It seems okay, super long time. I loved it. I loved it. I loved what I did. I loved the vast amount of experience that I did. But I knew that being at this one place for such a long time may not help me in the long run. I need to diversify myself. I need to come up with something else to do and to learn a new system and to network with new people and to learn something new. And so that is why I switched to this public accounting firm called DMJPS in North Carolina, where I am an audit intern or an assurance intern, learning how to perform audits and things like that. That is not totally unrelated, but is more of a traditional thing that accounting students take or undertake when they are in an accounting role or going after an accounting career. So, two different mindsets, but like get the experience that you really want in order to diversify what you are doing for your career to make yourself stand out. I think that's the biggest thing that I would say is important is to make yourself stand out with the experience that you have.
Yeah, and accounting is so practical. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you get good at accounting by doing the debits and the credits. There's all this talk about AI, how AI is going to make it to where, there's no more data entry, there's no more, lower value things that maybe accountants are doing. But as students, we still need to learn those things because those are the foundation of all accounting principles. Like taxes are based on the journal entries that are done all year long, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And audit is the same thing. If you're auditing cash at a big four company or a big four firm or some big public accounting firm, you have to understand how the cash flows through a business to be able to audit cash the right way. And
Yeah.
I just love that you're out there getting that experience. And, what better way to enhance your learning in the classroom than by applying those principles that you're working with every day in your classes, in your internship. I really wish that more students could see that and could take value in that because, too many of us think, oh, it's college, I'll play some FIFA or some Fortnite in my extra time, or, I'm going to
Right.
party and spend my time doing this and that. But college is also the time where you build the foundation for your career. And if you're not taking advantage of that, it's just, I feel like it's such a missed opportunity.
Yeah. It definitely goes to your return on investment. What you're putting in time now is what is going to eventually reap success for you later. I think that's been the mindset of me lately is like, what am I doing now that's going to help me in my career now? Is there, the exposure that I have now at this accounting firm or this business, how can I use what I'm learning right now to that translates into making the transition between college and full-time career successful or easier? And that is what an internship is supposed to do, or college experience is supposed to do, is to help you with that transition.
Yep, exactly. And you're doing a great job at it. So keep killing it. I really appreciate you sharing all that. So wanted to go back real quick, talk a little bit about your student leadership. And um, I believe you just attended a conference in LA this past week, right? In that student leadership
Yes,
role.
yes.
So
Conference, yeah,
maybe
conference
you
is a
can
good word to call it. Yeah.
maybe you can cover a little bit what you've done teaching and helping other students at UNC Greensboro, because I've
Hmm.
seen a few videos of you giving presentations to students and helping students out, and then maybe talk a little bit about that conference you were able to go to.
Yes, absolutely, I will. So, at UNCG, I was a part of what is called the Team Leader Program in the Bryan School of Business. And what these are is like student teachers that would help deliver classroom lessons to groups of freshmen or sophomores. And so the freshman class, and this is like part of a 4 year semester, 4 year long series of classes. The freshman class is devoted to personal development, how to develop your personal brand, how to identify your values, how to promote yourself on LinkedIn, all those things like that. The sophomore class is on professional development, which is helping you getting ready for that application to an internship or job that you want, targeted towards networking, targeted towards resume building, cover letter writing, interview skills, all those sorts of things. And I taught the sophomore class. And um, really, that role helped me to be a better communicator, because you're in the classroom week after week speaking to students, peers like yourself, on complex issues like how do I develop a resume? How do I write a cover letter? How do I do an interview? And you're supposed to give tips to these students in a way that they can understand it. And so communication is so important in business. And if you have a role where you are constantly being exposed to communication, that's going to help you out, and it's going to help the students around you as well because they see you as a leader. And that is what a position like I was in helped me did, or helped me do, was to be a better leader because I was always communicating to them about these things. I was finding new ways to talk to them and explain these things to them. And then another thing that was really important was feedback and improvement. So part of the student teacher role was grading assignments, and so if they had a resume and they wanted feedback on it, I would give them feedback on their resume, cover letter as well. And giving feedback is so important because it helps you learn, and helps students learn. And that is one thing that is essential when you become higher up in your career, is giving feedback to other people. So again, the return on investment. You're doing this thing right now, giving feedback. If you can find a role right now giving feedback, those skills are going to come in handy as you go along within your career, and also improvement as well. I taught with an employee of the Bryan School, and I wasn't just in the classroom by myself. It was an actual lecturer there as well. I just co-presented, but whenever I co-presented, we always talked about how do I improve. Are there any things that I am doing with my speech? Is there anything what am I doing anything crazy with my hands, or like what am I doing that could be improved when I'm talking? Again, improvement is so important. Finding ways to positively improve your performance over time, that helps as well as you go along with your career, as you identify things. Oh, if I'm working on for an accounting student, if I'm working on this tax paper, or if I'm working on this audit, and I have these review notes. How am I going to apply those review notes over time, become better at my job, and do things more consistently over time? That's super important. So that is some of the leadership experience that I've had in my classroom, or at the Bryan School. And so go over to go over, NMGZ, which is a conference, or it's a convention or field trip. I don't know what you want to call it, but these things that this organization called NMGZ, National Millennial and Gen Z Community, they do. We travel to different businesses around the country, and we speak to them about generational issues. Okay, so like if a business is concerned about how to use social media in their marketing, we have a say, and that we can be able to communicate that to those executives there, because of this organization. And one thing that was really important from this session is we got to travel to a whole bunch of different places. No accounting firms at this one. Sometimes they do go to accounting firms, mostly marketing agencies we went to. And one thing I learned from this was that executives really care what students have to say. Bill Amata is the person. If you don't know him, look him up on LinkedIn. Bill Amata, he's a super great guy, an exceptional networker. He knows people from all across the country in all sorts of different positions. And his passion is bringing students in so that their voices can be heard to executives, because we have something to say and bring to the table, and also helps us professionally develop. It's very rare that many students across the United States actually get the chance to talk to a business executive before they go into their full-time career. And being able to communicate with those people is super important. And if you're able to do that, that's great. And so if your school is a part of this organization, I encourage you to do that. But know that students are valued in executive boardroom decisions. They really are, because Generation Z, they are people or their generation that has a lot of insight into diversity, into how to use technology, and being able to be vocal about that in whatever platforms that you have is super important. So accounting students, we really need you to be involved in this so that accounting firms or businesses, they can get insights into what future accounting students are thinking and learning, so that transition of you coming into the public accounting firm or into the business is a lot more smoother, and you can feel valued about what you have to say. So those are kind of the two things that I've had going on, some of the thoughts I have, but I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, I love it. First off, it's just amazing how integrated and active you've been in your school's programs. I think we need more accounting students to do that. I think too many times, most of us accountants, maybe we're so stuck on debits and credits and keeping that 4.0 and doing all the things we need to do, that maybe we forget the experiences that we get to have as students in
Right.
leadership roles, going to conferences, doing different things that show that you're not just a classroom learner, but you're an active learner outside of the classroom. We all need to be doing that. And especially with the direction that accounting is going, with the need for accountants, we need more voices out there who are telling firm owners, who are telling people at the big four, what Gen Z needs, because it is a little bit different than what past generations have needed or wanted. And
Right.
guess what? Just like you're proving today, we can make that difference.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I think students need to take away from this is it takes time to learn how to talk to leaders and executives. If you're an intern at a big public accounting firm, how hard is it going to be to just go ask a partner a question, unless you're, super outgoing and not scared of anyone?
Yeah.
I know for me that would be scary, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh crap, I just screwed something up on this tax return. I got to go tell the partner now. Or
Yeah.
maybe you have a question or you want to learn more but you're scared, like getting out and doing activities like this is the perfect thing to get your confidence up and really stand out once you do get that internship. Once you are an audit associate, a tax associate, it really can make all the difference. So props to you for getting out there and doing. And I really
Yeah.
hope that more students, especially those listening, can get out there and get active. I do want to ask, so with these leadership experiences you've had, how were you able to find those experiences? Were they just put in front of you? Have you networked? Have you, asked people and got after it? What were ways that you were able to find those experiences?
Yeah, so a lot of it had to do with, people before me being good role models about what they were doing, and then encouraging me to apply. I would say that these opportunities for students, there are plentiful. Okay, they are out there for students to get. It takes a lot of courage. I'm naturally very introverted, and so I remember like the first, my freshman year, where I wanted to get involved in this club to be a part of the e-board, and there was like this election happening, and I was so anxious about it because it had been the first time that I was ever putting myself out there in front of people in order to get this thing. And it took a lot of courage to overcome that, as simple as that may sound. But once you do something and once you have a little bit of success, that's motivation. That's, momentum going into the next thing. And so I would say, it has to do a lot of self courage and finding things that really fit what you want to do. You know, don't try and do everything. I would say don't try, pick some things that you're really good at, because if you do everything, you're going to become overwhelmed. And that's not good for yourself, for your well being. Um, what is said a lot in the Bryan School is that you are a person first, a student second, and a professional third. Okay, when you're a student, that's the line. That's the order that goes in. Focus on your person, then then your academics, and then whatever else is going on. That's how you need to focus on them. That's the framework you need to have in order to have a healthy balance between all of these different things. And so when you're picking these things, though they're out there and that you may have anxiety about doing them, I would say push yourself out of your comfort zone. That is one thing that helps you grow, is to be able to push yourself out of your comfort zone and to find things that you really enjoy. But then also don't make sure that you do not over join things, that you are focusing on those key things, personhood and student, so that you can get that holistic experience while in college.
I love that. Gotta keep your priorities straight. And another thing with doing too much as a student is if you're in every club the school has to offer, and trying to do everything all at once, that also doesn't look good because you haven't laser focused on what you really want to do. So
Exactly.
um, make sure you're doing those experiences that are going to add the most value to your career and to your resume.
Yep.
Um, so just two last questions here for you. What plans do you have for the future? What do you want to go into public accounting? Do you want to own your own firm someday? Do you want to go back into cost accounting? Are you going to get the CPA? What does the future look like for Noah when it comes to
It's a,
accounting?
it's a great question. I don't, not even Noah knows it. I mean, I think I'm not going to. I'm going to give. So, in the fall, I'll start my master's program. So that is one thing I really want to do,
You doing the
is to get
Mac?
my master's in accounting. Yep, Mac.
Okay.
I think that's a great thing to have. It just looks really good that you've taken that step to learn more, and then CPA after that. I would love to have my CPA licensure, but other than that, I'm not exactly sure about firm destination, accounting industry destination. I'm still very open minded, and that's important to be open minded. I think um, I'm also someone who really likes to do a whole lot of different things at once. Okay, so whatever it is, I really want to try and have a side hustle. Okay, I think that's a really cool thing to be able to have. I don't know what that is. It might be tutoring or giving something. I'm not really exactly sure. But if it's, side hustles are really important ways to stay engaged in many different areas of different industries to be able to network effectively. So that is one like a goal that I have is to be able to have a really good career in accounting, but then also to side hustle along the way as well. I think that's cool. So hope that kind of answers your question. I'm not really sure,
Yeah.
but so max CPA and then after that kind of undecided at this point.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's super important to stay open, and you know, with so many virtual firms nowadays and remote work and the accounting industry kind of hopefully shifting away from that 80-hour work schedule during busy season, I think there's going to
Yeah,
be a lot of new opportunities and a lot of new things to be able to take part in. So super important to stay open. I love that. So
exactly.
last question, if you were to give your top advice to accounting students or young accounting professionals, whether it be LinkedIn, could be accounting related, could be, just person related, what would that advice be and how should they apply it?
Yeah. So my best advice would be to apply yourself at whatever you find good at, or apply yourself wherever there is a need. Um, and there's always a need for accounting students to be really vocal, and there's a specific need for you to use your unique strengths wherever you're at. I think about LinkedIn, for example. That is a great way to apply yourself. Whenever I hear employers or like people just talking about how students stand out, it's through their LinkedIn. It's through what they're posting or what they're commenting on, and it's about people coming up to you and saying, "Hey, I saw your LinkedIn post. That was really interesting." Um, and that is something that's not utilized very much by students. I'll say it. It's not really utilized that much in an effective way. And you may be saying, well, like, what do I post? What do I comment? Comment on something that you find interesting. Post about something that you did. Post about something that you find interesting that stands out. I LinkedIn is such a really cool tool because employers are always on it, and if you do that, then you are already standing out even before you send your resume in. So apply yourself wherever that is. LinkedIn is a prime example. That's a really great way to do that. And by applying yourself, comment, post, make your profile look eye catching. You know, don't just have like a student at whatever university and like that. That's it. Like you don't have experience. You just have education. Your headliner is like it says student again, so it's there twice. Like look for resources on LinkedIn to make your LinkedIn stand out. I think that's one thing that I did a lot was by looking through people that post about professional development on LinkedIn and just looking about okay, what are they saying I should post about? What are they saying my about section should be like? What should I say about my experience in this experience section? And then also look for feedback as well. I don't know how many times I've asked for feedback from my closest friends about, hey, I'm doing this on my LinkedIn. Can you look at it? And then sometimes they would say, oh, that looks really good. Or sometimes they would say, ew, what are you doing? You should change that right now. Like, no, no. Look for feedback as well because it's always good to just get another eye on it and then make improvements that way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I I feel like I'm one of the only really active people on LinkedIn at my school right now. And it's crazy. It makes the biggest difference being active on LinkedIn. I had one of our Mac students at the University of Pacific come up to me just on Thursday. I was sitting outside one of my classes getting ready for class to start, and he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, I just really appreciate your posts on LinkedIn. Like they're so relevant to me as an accounting student, and I just want you to know that they matter." And from my perspective, I feel like not that many students see my LinkedIn post sometimes, but
Hmm.
to know that people do see it and it makes an impact, that was on another student, but it's crazy the consistency that you can have on LinkedIn over time can make the hugest impact on your career. And really, some of
Yeah.
the changes that students need to make to their LinkedIn's, it's so simple. Make a couple comments a week, fix your bio, take a professional picture, and make yourself stand out. And that's really
Yeah.
half the game. And yeah, I couldn't agree more with your comments on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. And you're doing a great job of being a good role model about how to continuously develop your LinkedIn and to use it in a way to influence others to think about accounting as a career choice. And this is a great platform right here, a podcast, to be able to express those opinions with others as well, so that people can be more interested in it. So really proud of the work that you're doing and getting started with.
Well, I appreciate that. Means a lot. So if other students or young accounting professionals want to find you, where's the best place? I'm assuming LinkedIn, since we've been talking about that.
Yes, yes, you should message me on LinkedIn. I check it often, so that would be the best place to look for me. And then, yeah, you could email me as well. I think I have my email on my my border as well that you can look after. But yeah, feel free to contact me at any time and ask any questions.
Well, that sounds great. Well, Noah, I have learned a lot today. There's a lot of things I'm going to go and apply to my own career and my own professional development. Really want to thank you for taking the time on your Saturday after you've had a really busy week to meet with me and add so much great value to the listeners of the podcast here. So thank you so much. Hopefully we'll have you on right after graduation or right before you graduate, and you can give us another update on your career. But thank you so much, and really appreciate your time.
Sure, absolutely. I'm grateful to do it. So thank you for the invite. I thank you for taking the time, and yeah, I'm always willing to help.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for listening. We hope you're able to find some value today and get out there and get to work. Remember, we're accounting students. Getting out there and getting these experiences and building your resume early is going to make the biggest difference. So we challenge you to do that, and hope you all have a great week, and we'll be back next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.